some fun. Tune in late at night or tune in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to Outline. Coming up are the headlines for today. COVID-19 case detected in school. Blended education stopped for 2 weeks. OCCI chairman meets Indian ambassador to Oman. Fire in Muscat apartment, 4 rescued. Those are the headlines for today. On our show today, we also have our special segment Fighting COVID with Madiha Asif. But first, let's take a look at the weather updates.
This is Maythal Chukeli with today's weather update. And at the moment, I'm standing outside the TFM studio in Al Khoir. Before we move on to weather, here is our fact for the day. In just 10 minutes, a hurricane releases more energy than all the nuclear weapons in the world combined. That's our fact for the day. Now join me inside the studio and we'll move on to weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities saying that there will be a rough sea condition over the parts of Musandam and Oman Sea coast. And on top of that, there will be mainly clear skies in the Sultanate with chances of late night to early morning low-level clouds or fog patches over the parts of South Al-Sharqiyya and Al-Wusta. Now let's move on and take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 35 to 27 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 30 to 23 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 37 to 26 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 35 to 26 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will experience a sandstorm, temperatures between 32 to 17 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will also experience a sandstorm, temperatures between 33 to 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 25 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 23 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 37 to 24 degrees Celsius. Will experience a sandstorm, temperatures between 38 to 25 degrees Celsius. And the Dhofar will be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 22 degrees Celsius.
Hello and welcome back to Outline. Let's take a look at the local stories. Students in the 12th grade at the Al Hassan bin Hashim School in the Wilayat of Seeb have been asked to continue their studies through the distance education method from today till 4th April 2021 after a COVID-19 case was detected, education officials announced. A statement issued online by the Directorate General of Education in Muscat Governorate said the following. Based on the recommendation of the Epidemiological Investigation Committee in the Wilayat of Seeb yesterday, due to the presence of a COVID-19 case and in order to preserve the safety of our students, the Supervisory Committee of the Directorate General of Health Services in the Governorate of Muscat approved the recommendation to continue the study of 12th grade students at Al Hassan bin Hashim School in the Wilayat of Seeb to the distance education system for a period of 2 weeks as stipulated in the health protocol from today, March 22nd, until April 4, 2021. This is provided that students resume their studies in the blended education system as of Monday, April 5, 2021, the statement added. The chairman of the Board of Directors of the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry has received at his office the Ambassador of the Republic of India accredited to the Sultanate. A statement issued online by OCCI said the following. His Excellency Engineer Rida Al-Sari, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, received at his office His Excellency Manu Mahawar, the Ambassador of the Republic of India, accredited to the Sultanate, to discuss strengthening trade cooperation between the two countries in the health sector and investment opportunities in the Sultanate. A fire broke out in an apartment in Muscat Governorate and firefighting teams managed to rescue 4 people trapped within. The Public Authority of Civil Defence and Ambulance said the following. The firefighting teams in Muscat Governorate managed to put out a fire that broke out at an apartment in a building in the Al Azaba area in the Vilayat of Bosher. The building was evacuated and 4 people were rescued by hydraulic lift and they are in good health. Those are the local stories. Now for some COVID-19 updates. The Ministry of Health has registered 7 new deaths due to COVID-19, taking the total death to 1,629. The ministry has extended its deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. The Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 728 new COVID-19 cases, taking the total cases in the Sultanate to 151,528. In the past 24 hours, there have been 324 recoveries, and the total number of recoveries now stand at 139,442. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. Now let's head to the Fighting COVID studio for more updates on the coronavirus.
Thank you, Antara, for the updates and welcome to Fighting COVID. Last week, we had Dr. Mona Nigam, who spoke about the relation between dermatology and coronavirus and how people who had dermaphilus complaining about swelling in their lip and face after getting vaccine, clearly suggesting nothing to worry about, as there should be a gap between the procedure and vaccination of not less than 2 weeks, and also talking about skin manifestations due to not changing face mask on a regular basis and using too much alcohol rub on your hands and then touching your face with it. Since then, a lot has happened in the Sultanate. The night closure in Oman has been extended until April 3rd. An exemption from this covers fuel filling stations, health establishments, private pharmacies, tire sale and repair outlets based at filling stations, transport, cargo and unloading services, and the operation of factories without the option of receiving clients and customers home deliveries, the handling over of food orders to customers in their vehicles from restaurants, cafes, mobile cafeterias, and licensed street vendors, as well as offering guests-only service at restaurants located within hotel establishments. It also includes downsizing of the number of employees to 70% at the workplace in units of the state's administrative apparatus and other legal entities till Thursday, April 1st, 2021. Banning on all direct flights from the United Kingdom, permitting the use of beaches to practice individual sports, while at the same time maintaining a total ban on gatherings at beaches and elsewhere. But the most prominent of all the changes that happened in the Sultanate is the constant increase in the coronavirus cases. In fact, Dr. Mohammed Al-Husni, who's the Undersecretary of Ministry of Health, said that Oman is in its 3rd wave of coronavirus outbreak. He said that while in an interview with Oman TV. Quoting him here, "We are at the beginning of the 3rd wave and we must do everything to reduce these infections." According to Al-Husni, 70% of population will be vaccinated by end of this year. In fact, he said that 30% of vaccination will be completed by end of June. And he pointed out that the vaccines are safe and very effective in preventing entry to intensive care, and all indications are indicating that. He also mentioned that Oman is working towards providing 250,000 doses of coronavirus vaccine by end of this month. He confirmed that the Sultanate has a more stringent system in choosing vaccines. Al-Husni pointed out, adding that there is no direct relationship between the AstraZeneca vaccine and the blood clotting cases that occurred in some people in some countries. The vaccine will be widely available next summer, and the period between the 2 doses has been extended to 10 weeks and working to provide over 5 million doses by end of this year. Al-Husni also said that there are talks going on about issuing health passport that will ease travel between countries, which is under study. And he also expected normal life to return by end of this year. The Ministry of Health, represented by the Directorate General of Health Services of Muscat Governorate, commonly known as DGHS Muscat, on Wednesday last week started visiting homes of the target groups registered with the Community Health Program for the coronavirus vaccination. In fact, the Ministry of Health yesterday started their vaccination drive in Musandam and is going after the target groups to get vaccinated as soon as possible. The service is a part of an integrated program prepared by the DGHS Muscat to vaccinate these groups for their safety against the pandemic. The target group numbers have been counted by the Community Health Program nurses before the start of vaccination. An entire team has been kept ready with the required equipment to complete the vaccination process. The vaccination in the vilayats of Muscat and Matra will also be followed by other vilayats in Muscat Governorate. The aim of the home visits is to reach out to the vulnerable group in the community and get them vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, talking about the third wave that is making headlines in the Sultanate, it's just not the Sultanate who has entered into its third wave. In fact, a lot of European countries are progressing towards the third wave. But let's talk more in detail about them after this quick commercial break.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Fighting COVID. As I mentioned that we'll be talking about the third wave that is swiftly advancing in the parts of European Union. The infection rate in the European Union is now at its highest level since the beginning of February, with the spread of new variants of the coronavirus being blamed for much of the recent increase. Several countries are now set to impose strict new lockdown measures in contrast to the new variant making headline in the UK and the rest of the world. A year after coronavirus struck Italy, more than half of the country's residents were set to be placed back under hard lockdown restrictions from Monday, March 15, at least through Easter. Restrictions are being tightened in response to yet another rise in case numbers. Italy is entering a third wave of coronavirus infections. In France, authorities have reported more or less similar grim situation, with Health Minister Olivier describing the situation in the Greater Paris region as tense and worrying. He revealed that every 12 minutes night and day, a Parisian is admitted to an intensive care bed. President Macron has imposed curfews and other social restrictions in several regions, and many doctors are now pressing him to introduce a national lockdown as a matter of urgency. In the second week of March, Germany officially announced that the country had entered in the third wave of the pandemic and had reported a sharp increase in number of cases at 14,356 and 321 deaths in just one day, as the head of the country's infectious disease agency acknowledged that the country was now in the grip of a third wave of coronavirus. Similarly, in Poland, 17,620 new daily coronavirus cases were reported in a single day in the second week of March, the highest daily figure since November. New pandemic restrictions are likely to be announced, government officials have indicated. Poland already has imposed tight restrictions on social gatherings, most schools are closed, and restaurants can only serve meals for delivery. In addition to that, both Hungary and Czech Republic have reported high infection rates and death from coronavirus, and health officials have warned figures are likely to get worse in the coming weeks. Moreover, the B.1.7 variant is spreading quickly across Canada, causing doctors and experts to sound the alarm about a third wave of coronavirus infections. Provinces have been easing restrictions after cases began to fall across the country in late January, but the B.1.7 variant began spreading in earnest in mid-February. Pakistan says that it is also facing the third wave of coronavirus infection in the country. Officials have particularly expressed concern over the spread of the so-called UK variant of the virus. The major lockdown had already begun in the province of Punjab on March 15 for 2 weeks in the 7 cities after a gap of a year. During the first wave of the infection, the government had imposed a complete lockdown across the province in March 2020. Punjab cities that are under lockdown includes Lahore, Rawalpindi, Sargodha, Faisalabad, Multan, Gujranwala and Gujarat. Well, this was all from our Fighting COVID studio today, talking about the third wave, how it is gripping across the Europe and how it is also spreading in other parts of the world. Let's get back to Antara.
That was Madhiya Asif with the latest updates on the coronavirus on Fighting COVID on Outline. We'll be back tomorrow with midday updates, so stay tuned.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.